We good? Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy Young Jedi Fresh. And this is the YGOG Podcast Show. I'm joined by my esteemed colleague and cohort and co-partner in crime, the homie.
Yo, yo, what's good? It's your boy Splashy. We out here. Raspy voice, one time again. What up?
Smooth R&B and hip-hop. That's how you're sounding, bro. How you been, man? Happy Friday.
Happy freaking Friday, man. Super tired, but I'm pumped.
It's been a long week.
How are you doing?
It's been a long week.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, I just got my voice back, kinda.
Yes.
I was out there podcast world. I was a little raspy.
A little raspy.
Yeah, out here.
A little splashy.
Yeah, I was about to do splash intro, but feeling better now. Everything good, man?
Yeah. I mean, had some good workouts this week. Mr. Consistency. That's what people call me at the gym. That's what
Mr. Consistency.
Mr. Consistency.
Is that a thing?
Consistency.
Is that a thing at the gym?
It's a thing. It's a little thing.
Okay, that's big. I mean,
I've been working out since 9/11 to, since then Monday through Friday. I've been grinding it, Okay. Your man's got a haircut,
Yeah, it's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, so people say I look a little skinny too. Get the jawline real one time, one time a little something, a little light, a little jawline.
Yeah, jawlines are good.
But yeah, good. Jawlines are good.
Yo, before we jump into it, what's what's your favorite news of the week?
Favorite news of the week? What was that?
I feel like something come out.
No,
cool.
I mean, well, obviously there was Complex Con, but the biggest news that I've been following was the Thousand Oaks shooting in Cali.
Yeah, shout out to Cali right now. Rest in peace for sure. On a serious tip, hope that prayers out to everybody who's lost a life or affected by this tragic event in Cali yesterday. It was awful.
Yeah,
that was awful.
So I mean, when I think about news, there's that. But yeah, I mean, over the weekend we had Complex Con.
Word.
With Complex Con, there was also the voting.
The election.
The elections.
Yeah, the election was going on.
And you got all the people, using their platforms to talk about, hey, you should go vote. I don't know if you saw that, but for my feed, it was just everybody saying, hey, I vote, you should go vote. Certain people that I don't even know
just want to tell you to vote,
yeah,
right? Like, all of a sudden you get a pop-up. It's like a dog. You gotta go vote, rough.
You gotta vote. You gotta vote. And you gotta vote. I mean, I understand and I get it. But it was just like it was just certain individuals that started like becoming very preachy and like sharing like their political views, and some people it was just like, yeah, I voted and just got a sticker, and just not to say that they just did it just because they want to flex on Instagram and
right.
Somebody comment like weird flex but okay. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's why like with all these things going on, I think for today's topic, I wanted to talk about social media, and there's even with when it comes to political views, you have all these celebrities and athletes and it's using their platform to speak on maybe not too directly to what their political view is like, but it's almost as if like if a certain brand or a media company starts subtly pushing their political agenda, like you wouldn't even see it, but then everyone's like, oh, Democrat, like if you're not if you don't vote for a certain party, then you're not part of the crew. I don't know if you see that, but just like the memes and certain people that I see, like everyone's kind of towards one direction, and not to really like get too involved with politics, but just how social media, maybe we could just start from how life was without social media, like how it is today.
Why are you looking at me for? Like I'm supposed to know.
And yeah, it was just something I was thinking about this past week, and I feel like I'm a victim of being on social media a lot myself, and it does affect your mental health. So
yeah, no, for sure. I think, not to really, delve into too much politics, right?
Yeah.
I think right now in the state of our world, our country at least, it's either left or right, red or blue, green or white, black or white, rather, and that has obviously caused some division over the past 20 or so odd years where social media was really prevalent.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I've ever seen the country this divided before.
Right.
And I do want to believe and also not believe that it's attributed to social media, because social media kind of is able to cause a divide because we have the internet to hide behind, or our keyboards to hide behind.
Yeah.
So it's easier to represent one side or the other side, right? And everybody nowadays has a side. Everybody has a specific view on government and how it should roll and yada, yada, yada. A lot of people attribute also to having a black president for 2 terms, which is obviously huge for this country as a whole. I mean, having a black president, having a minority president was a huge step in the right direction. It's a huge step in the right direction for this country, for our society, to have a person of color, especially a person of color who's come from split races.
Right.
His mom was white, his dad was black, Africa and American, and grew up here. But it's really hard to pinpoint, because were there really so many undercover racists or people who are just not willing to accept that we've elected a black president in this country, and all of a sudden this rising wave of hatred towards not only blacks and Latinos and Asians or whatever minority out there? Or is it social media? And I think social media is really the driver of the divide, right? Because again, we can hide behind our phones. No one's really going to be able to lash out at us physically. But as you can see, look at some of the racist, some of the stories going around, like the lady who stops people from having barbecues. This all stems from this kind of social media fear of another race, which kind of drives us farther and farther apart, where the goal is to drive us closer and closer together. So and I believe that social media is a huge part of that, for sure.
So maybe to start with, I'm curious.
What was social media before?
Yeah, what was
when people were
what was social
young?
media? I was actually
when a guy like you was young, Jedi.
when I was thinking about it, I was like, I was in the shower and I was thinking about this topic, and I was thinking about you, and I was like, hey yo, I was just like, dang, what. I was just recalling before the smartphone, the flip phones, and I know you could probably go before that, but beepers, and how, if I wanted to hang out with my my Chinese friend Victor Van Gogh, then
labels. Here we go with the labels again.
If I want to kick it with a homie, like, yo, I'll see you at 7:00, right in front of that house. You know where that that stop sign is? Yeah, meet me right there. And you had to be there directly, and if you didn't show up for 5-10 minutes, then
you died.
Something's up.
Oh man.
So for me, it was my
what year were you born again?
92. 1992.
So by the time you were 5, it was 1997, 96.
Yeah.
We didn't have iPads, cell phones. There were cell phones, but they were just beginning to really begin to spread. But it was probably...
Wait, you use smartphones or cell phones?
Cell phones in general.
Oh, right.
I mean, cell phones existed.
So you're saying beepers, and then...
It was probably beepers were still the main form of communication back then. But then 98, 99 was when the rise of the cell phone, if I can recall, really began. And you were, 8, 7 years old.
So... I used Zynga. That was my first...
What is Zynga?
You don't know Zynga?
No.
My man don't know Zynga?
I don't know what Zynga is. What is that? Prepaid phone plan?
No. Zynga is like your blog, like your personal diary, where you would...
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. It's a website. You Zynga.com, blah, blah, blah.
How you could just... It's crazy. I think it's
and
crazy.
You had just your own website, yeah.
Not to cut you off, but to cut you off.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy because you just reference things and automatically assume that it's the internet. Duh.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not always been the case. I thought Zynga was like an application or hardware.
So what was your first like social media or
Social media. My first social
Still,
media?
yeah.
School. You know, you go to elementary school and people are there and
be
you
all
interact.
social with everybody.
Yeah, you go, hey, what'd you do last night? I don't know,
Yeah.
watch, Knight Rider. What'd you do? Watch, some Brady Bunch or some other show that you probably never heard of.
Yeah.
Or heard of and never saw. That was probably my first form. What do you mean, digital social media?
Well, like digital social media. Like before, the closest to what
it is today?
it is today.
Well, again, I rose with this. I grew up with it. So the first thing that I can really relate to what we have today from a social media communication standpoint are probably chat rooms.
Chat rooms.
Yeah, so...
AOL Instant Messenger.
Well...
MSN.
Slow down, buddy. So when we had dial-up...
I know that, yeah.
Did you ever have that?
Yes.
Or were you had dial-up before in your house? Yeah. So that would...
I totally pictured that. You didn't let me finish, but anyways.
You never had
It was like... Yeah.
And then, welcome. And every AOL. So when the internet started, everybody thought the internet was AOL. Like, AOL is a...
I think I had Net Zero or something.
Net Zero, right?
Yeah.
Net Zero was I think it was a browser. I don't remember. I remember it. It was like free internet, right?
Yeah,
Connection to the internet. So, but back when the internet in its infancy, in terms of when it was affordable and people had it like down the street, AOL was de facto internet. That was the internet. Like, we didn't really know anything else. So AOL really tried to simplify the internet, right? So there were your email, which was very uncommon back then. Like
email us.
No one email us.
Email us.
No one emailed anyone back then. It was rare.
Yeah.
Like, imagine today not having access to your email hours at a clip. Like, you check your email in the morning, you go to work, maybe you check it again at lunch.
Yeah.
You check it when you get home.
Yeah.
Imagine checking your email 3 times a day, that frequency. Would you be able to survive?
No.
No one would. You get fired. One, you would miss out on everything.
Right.
So they had like areas of email, browser, and there was like maybe 10, 15 websites that people knew of.
Yeah.
More than that, but not very much, like the news sites and whatnot. Then you had chat rooms, and the chat rooms grew like for kids, 18 and under. For lesbians, for gays, for rap music, for art, for culture.
Yep.
And that was where people congregated. So it was like, okay, I'm in the chat room. Okay, people from Queens, 15 years old or whatever the age was at the time. And you would go in that chat room, unbeknownst to you that there might be creepers there. But again, that was a scare, but not as like prevalent as it now. Because it was still in its infancy. Yeah. But that's where it spread. And you go on chat rooms. Yeah. You'd search for your interest. There would always be a chat room for an interest. If you didn't have one, you made one. Kind of like Reddit, how it is now. Right. If you're familiar with Reddit. Who isn't familiar with Reddit? And then you would go in these chat rooms and you would just start conversing with people. Like, hey, basketball chat room. Hey, did you guys watch the Knicks game last night? And then you would just...
I think I was in I was in a few chat rooms. Not going to disclose because I don't remember actually. But... WWE. I was like heavy into WWF.
WWF, yeah.
It was WWF and WWE. Yeah, those days were good.
Yeah, so were chat rooms. That's really where social media, as I can recall, started for me.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I was excited to talk about this because I'm on social media like 80% of the time. On my you check my phone and it would say like which app have you used the most.
Instagram.
80% Instagram. I don't really use Snapchat as much, or I just deleted it because at one point I'm like, when did I get so many friends on Snapchat? Like, I don't want to
interact with people,
interact with them, or even see what's going on because it's just right in your face. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I want to kind of touch and like speak about Instagram and just like related to like mental health. At the same time, but I don't know. I mean, you're probably not on it as much. For me, as somebody who wants to kind of share my brand or my story as Splash and just promoting myself and kind of like what I do. It's almost as if Instagram is like your own portfolio as a marketing person. Every time you go apply to a new job, or hey, like let's exchange like social media, or here's my Instagram, whatever. It's almost as if like this is like who you are. And that's sure. and I feel like there's so much not for everybody, but for those that kind of use this platform or use this as your portfolio and a way to kind of share your work or your just overall lifestyle. Like there is it's a valuable commodity depending on how like you curate it, or like if you have, we obviously know about the Instagram influencers. If you have, such amount of 10K followers or up, whatever, like you could also get, monetary gain out of it. I could go on forever and just like kind of direct and just kind of share, but first off, what do you use Instagram for, or what do you use social media for? Whether that's, maybe is it Instagram, is it Snapchat, like Facebook, like what do you use it for? How often are you on it? Because I think for the younger folks, like we're on it like heavy, and I mean I know older folks too that that are on it crazy, but I think for you,
the question is, what are old folk doing on Instagram?
Yeah,
tell us. Doing? What do you do? Like look for back support tools, and what kind of shoe padding to use? And we're not dead. I mean, I use social media. I mean, if you look at my usage, iPhone obviously gives that opportunity to look at your usage. You're gonna see social media is probably my top tools.
Right.
And in terms of the tools I'm using, my Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Venmo, I want to say is now like a social media tool. Because you could
it's always weird when like there's some people, they're like, hey, I saw you made like transaction, and then
you bought prostitutes. I saw you. Oh,
or like people like your comments and they creep on like the transaction.
I'm always private. I don't like the fact that people see what you pay for, because even if it's emojis, right? It's like,
yeah, it's weird.
What is pineapple for? Like, I'm curious. It piques your.
Yeah.
What are they purchasing that you want to use a pineapple emoji?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I count Venmo as a Twitter. I'm on Twitter.
Oh, you're on Twitter. That's also Twitter something
sparingly.
I'm curious about. I don't use Twitter like that. I used to have an account. Well, I still have an account, but it's for like the top 5, top 6.
You know what? I think,
well, yeah. What do you do? You write your thoughts there, or what's? Yeah. What do you do on Twitter?
Yes, my memoirs have all laid out on Twitter for me to remember.
Or it's just your Nick's.
It's usually
rant.
Nick rants.
Nick rants.
Yeah,
yes.
Nick rants. Nick rants usually. Yo, if you want to talk about Knicks basketball, hit me at Young Jedi Fresh on Twitter. We talk basketball.
Jedi said, "Come at me."
Yeah, come at me, because we talk all day. I probably use social media more as I came up with social media. Little did you know, I use a plethora of tools: Facebook, MySpace, Black Planet.
Black Vic,
Planet.
you know Black Planet?
Know about Black Planet, Vic?
No. I think it was Black Panther.
Black Panda?
That
was also a great
Black
site.
Panther? Wait, there's Black Panther?
Where to find Black Love? Black Panda?
Okay. There's Black Planet, and then it was Zanga, and then I think it was MySpace.
Yeah, so Black Planet, MySpace. I never heard of. Maybe I've heard of Zanga. Maybe I just didn't use it. Anyway, right now, as an older person, you know, I've also grown a little weary of posting everything. But when Instagram and Facebook were first out, I used every comment, every thought. If you look at my Instagram post from when I first started, every thought, like, I'm thinking I'm about to hurt somebody, I'm going crazy. Like, every thought, not literally, but every thought I would write, every opinion that I had.
We gotta fact check that, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, it even gone as far as when, breakups, bad breakups, and I'm airing people out on social media.
Right.
Pretending they don't know I'm writing about them.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people are just things like that, I used to post everything. Big poster. But as I got older, as I gained more knowledge of the internet, I also saw that there are some times you kind of want to ring things in. I'm not marketing myself per se, but I've done things on the social media to market, whether it be sneakers, I was doing shoelaces at one point. So there were points in time where I was marketing myself, and I'm a digital marketer, by profession. So I used to do content for social media. But personally, not to shift away from the conversation, I've used it often, but I don't post as much. But I'm on it 80% of my tools in terms of that. I'm on Reddit mostly.
Okay.
I'm a big Reddit guy. I think it's a little bit more straight to the point. It's informative. Things are regulated. Whereas like Facebook, Twitter, that's like the Wild West. Fucking Instagram. You could look at the comments on Instagram and what how not only the pictures. A lot of people always get caught up in the media, the pictures or the video, and how that kind of shapes or molds social media's voice. But also you gotta look at the comments.
Right.
Especially for your influencers, as you alluded to, the comments, the vitriol are just as crazy as the media.
Yeah.
And can sway opinion in a
absolutely.
sentence or two.
They also look at the engagement rate. See if it's even legit. Your engagement rate of your comments versus your followings, because I know some people that have purchased like bots and fake followers. Bots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like fake followers and there's just like this. I know some Instagram influencers myself, and maybe this is a great way to get into like mental wellness and just how this image that you present, everything is so filtered, pun intended. Your life is filtered, and you show your best side of you. And not only that, in the pictures, you are trying to show the best side of you by sharpening that picture plus 15.
Is that what we're calling that? Sharpening?
Yes, you sharpen.
Editing with Adobe?
No, it's a
tool?
It's a sector where, when you edit your photos, I don't know how often.
Yeah, is this true? Yes.
When you edit your photos, you can edit the lighting, the exposure. The sharpening is to make everything more like give it more dimension. So it's like using contrast. So make the picture pop more. Like it's like an extra layer of like zooming and like extra detail. So I would be able to see like the wrinkle or like the fade.
Why? What's the purpose of this?
It's to like for me, like I got my jawline right here. Like if I want it to be more defined or clear, I would sharpen it or contrast it. Really? It's an actual. That's what it's called. Okay. So you could sharpen a photo to make it look high def. This guy Vic's right here, like he can't speak, but because obviously he's shooting, but he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just making it very HD. Sometimes if you sharpen it or contrast it too much, it looks like it doesn't even look like a picture. But to my point, the followings and the likes and all this narcissistic like posts and that just narcissism itself, or the narcissism it breeds as well. You just get fed like the comments and the likes, and the more likes you get, the more comments you get, the more followers. It feeds you. Well, you know what? With that being said, I think it really stems from before social media and where it's kind of evolved. I think growing up in New York, in urban areas, I think the biggest thing everybody wanted to do was floss. Like, I got the dopest watch, I got the dopest chain, I got the new 8-ball jacket. I'm rocking an Avirex, or I got the new Jordans on. That's really the biggest. Yeah. What you want to flex, right? Yeah. You want to flex your wares. Now there's a platform for you to. Now there's a platform to not only flex your wares to the people where you're just cruising the neighborhood, going from school, your friends, your people, your passerbys. Now you're able to magnify that across the globe. Like, this is my flex today. Yeah. Check it out. And then that's just from like more of a materialistic standpoint. Excuse me. But then you got to think about the people, males and females, who enhance themselves to look better for the camera. I mean, how many times have you heard that Instagram thirst trap? Yes. Right? It absolutely is. Yeah. You can find both sexes doing their dressing scantily, running around social media to whoever your likes, like we try, buy, whatever. You can find that stuff with social media. Yeah. So it feels like society really does have more. We've always had an eye on physical beauty, obviously. Right. Everybody wants to look their best,
at all times. But social media has really put a battery, and that's back, because it's like we have to look the best all the time.
Yeah.
And from a behavioral standpoint, it's not realistic, right?
Yeah,
because if you follow your favorite star, I'm going to use the Kardashians as a perfect example, because they're the most popular on social media. They have leveraged social media to an empire. All right, so if you look at that and you look at their daily lives, you have to really also think that can't be them every day.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up. No one wakes up at 6:30 looking fabulous. You know what I'm saying? And looking mad fresh. And I think when we kind of want to peel back and see what really this is how does it affect like the normal Joe or Sally who's like going about their days and follow these people? Like, are we just trying to attain to be, you know, stars of social media in our own right? Because there's so many lanes for everybody. What's the real end goal,
right,
for social media? Like, what is it? What does it become right now? It's become a you know, less of a system of information, even though that's still on there.
Yeah,
it's really become this like, this is what I got, you should be doing it too, and everybody else is in this rat race of trying to get, you know, a big butt, the newest Jordans, you know, exclusive club access, being at a dope restaurant, you know, things like that. So social media is you know, it's really become a tool that what is it doing to us as a society? Again, is it dividing us? Because if me and you following the same guy and we're trying to emulate him, it's like, yo, I got these Jordans, I got this tech fleece, I got this money. We're both kind of, now it's a competition between us,
right?
Because we're trying to get to his status, and what does that really mean? What benefit? How does that benefit us in the long run?
Yeah, it's also you know, validation from others, and like, I'm a victim of it myself. You know, there are times when, you know, I post a photo and like it might not be edited or it might not be the same tone. You know, well, Joe, as you know, like, do you have some like influencers that you follow for like their feed, whether that's like outfit? I guess that also depends on what your feed consists of. Yeah. My feed consists of, you know, certain people with like great outfits for inspiration, or like sneakers, and obviously whoever you follow, you'll get the same, you know, I mean, that's your daily feed. You're constantly being fed that. And where was I going with this? We talked about validation, and so you would so some pictures, so before I used to kind of preset my photo so that all the edits, it just kind of, when you look at my whole timeline of photos, all of it looks like very white and black, or like just super clear, sort of like following a theme for your portfolio or for your feed. Noticed. Yeah. Wow, okay. You know, it's and then it's
crafty,
and you know, there's a lot of people who do that. A lot of influencers who just follow this certain tone, and it's like sort of like a mood board of who that person is, and mood board of, you know, their aesthetic or whatever. And you know, when there is a post that might not be as nice or perfectly filtered, I wouldn't get enough likes. And if I don't get likes, you know, Vic knows that I'll be deleting some of those posts that don't get all those likes. And
just to validate the likes validate that picture.
Well, like because the rest of my other pictures got like 200 likes, but then this one did 55. It's like, it's not a good look, so like I would delete it. Mm-hmm. And this might be like a whole new thing, or like, you know, something that you know, maybe you don't go through.
Yeah, no.
Because my name is Splash. We out here. I'm trying to brand myself. YGOG, you know. But I just catch myself, you know, just trying to please others with, you know, with my photos, and again, with this, me trying to build Splash as a brand and what it brings to the table, and I feel like, with validation, there are people who fake flex. You know, we talked about flexing, like, yo, I'm the first one to cop these Jordans, whatever, and you show it off. But then, you know, I'm not. Well, we are on YouTube. There's those YouTube sneaker reviewers. You know what they do is they buy the hottest exclusive whatever, and they buy the product so they could do a review on it, but they go ahead and return it after. There's people who buy a nice fit, do a little fit pick like from Supreme, put it all together,
and return it back to Supreme,
and then not return it back to Supreme, but they will flip it.
Yeah,
like they would do it just for the flex,
smart.
just for the gram.
Yeah, smart. I mean, the outfit grid guys.
Wait, what?
Like, do they like outfit grid, right?
Yeah, I know outfit
like,
grid.
The people that flex like that, like, are they honestly copying legitimately?
Oh, like for their posts
and keeping their gear? Are they just modeling that, returning, or so? Is there like a financial backer? Because if you think about it from a venture capitalist standpoint, like if I had money, right, what would be a good idea to expand your anything or make more business online?
Right.
You lock up a couple brand influencers.
Yeah.
You back them.
Yeah.
You know, those turn into advertisement dollars. You grow. You
of course.
You start a business.
Yeah.
So it always because I always thought about it like, listen, when I was younger, I always wanted to be the kid with the newest shit, you know, without a doubt. And I'd go to certain stores, either pay a premium to get it, or know certain stores that were going to release it a week or 2 weeks early, and just go get it.
Yeah.
Nowadays with the influencers, especially young kids, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, who have access to either money or who's supplying them with this. Like, you can't, you're telling me that you got the best buy, you cop all the Supreme, you cop every Yeezy that comes out, and all of a sudden you become this huge social media star? How does that, I'm still kind of novice to that phenomenon.
Right.
Like, that's something that I didn't really, obviously I grew up with it, but I didn't really pay attention because it seems to have came from the younger age group, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how does that influencer kind of, do you have any insight into that? Like, how does that happen? How do you become an influencer?
How do you become a what?
How do you have access to capital to get a lot of these high priced items?
Well, a lot of it would be, as you know, I mean, there's seeding, there's product seeding. So, you know, if a brand or a small clothing brand, whatever, they see an influencer with like 100K following, whatever, a huge following.
Here's some ish, rock my stuff.
Yeah, here's some ish, rock my stuff, and talking to some of these guys, like these, because there's two kinds of deals. It's just, number one, you would get the product, free product, you could keep it, shout out, boom. And then there's, hey,
keep it.
we're giving you the product, you could have it, but we're also gonna pay you for the post. So that's like a sponsored post. So if you have crazy following and I'm like, yo, we like your style, whatever, here's some clothes, can you do a shout out or like show some love? And then you would go ahead and, you know, do
check out my new.
But when it comes to when it's paid, these brands, they actually get very nitty gritty, and it's almost of your own creativity and your voice is gone, because I'm pretty much
all of a sudden you have an art director there and they're like, yo, you got to do this, and
this is
like, how you got to wear
there's a certain way, but it's almost as if, and then it's gotten to a point where people are like, yo, is Jedi legit? Like, is he doing this because he really likes the brand,
or is he just getting paid?
Well,
even before that, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me once again. Like, how do you get to that level where you have 100,000 followers?
So again, that has to do with like what you bring to the table. So if you're, you know, like, you would follow the Knicks for the Knicks. You would follow CNN for news. You would follow, you know, Outfit Grid for outfit inspirations. So based on what you want to be fed, you would follow them. Obviously, there's the homies that you follow, because you want to be part of their lives and whatever. There's celebrities, artists, whatever, because you like them, you want to be plugged in. And then there are these people who realize that with this platform, they could actually create a portfolio. And that could be outfit picks. You know, maybe a guy who's very trendy and he's like a trendsetter and take nice pictures, very filtered and a lot of whites and blacks and very just super clean, and you know, he's just showing off his fits. So if I like his style, then I'm gonna go and follow him. And if you continue to push out with this theme, there's gonna be other people
if you have like a consistency to it.
Like consistency to it. Yeah. And that's why some of my influencer friends, when I think they post something and I know that's not really them and they're just doing it for the gram and for their followers, like it makes total sense. But my issue with that is, I get it. Your page, if you're a baker, you will want to show your baked goods, or if you a foodie, you'll show your foods. You have all these categories and people that curate things and create content that you would go ahead and follow for. My thing is, when it comes to fashion or just whatever, you know, let's say a fashion influencer, I think a lot of people look at their lives and say, like we mentioned this before, wow, like this is what life should look like, you know, and for you, that's, I don't want to bring age again, but like, you know, maybe because you have more wisdom and experience, you're like, there's no way this girl look like this like every day when she wakes up. No way, you know. But for the younger audience, you have to think like, oh, they're not easily. I mean, it is easily manipulated, but yeah. But you get bought into it because it's right in front of your face. Like this 24/7. And these young girls, like they have to look like the Kendall Jenner or the Kylie Jenner, and you know, their favorite like fashion, and a lot of these. And so what started off as a theme and pushing that consistent content and showcasing your passion and whatever that you're doing, that actually leads to you pleasing other people. So it's like it becomes like that portfolio, or if you're that influencer and you have that following, and you know, people are gonna demand things. They want more outfits. They want more selfies, or they constantly want to be fed. And it later becomes like, are you really doing this for a passion, or are you kind of a slave to your own portfolio or fake life that you're not even? It's almost as if like, you know, I'm the trendiest person, so I need to go to Complex Con for my followers to show them that I am there, that I am up to date, that I am part of this thing for the culture and for the people that follow. So I know that was a lot. I just went all over.
I get it, but let's really I think we kind of, you know, we kind of ran around in a couple of circles. Like let's really get to the nitty gritty of everything. Yeah. Right. What is twofold question, right? If you can answer real quick, what is your end goal with social media?
My end goal with social media.
Yeah, what's your ultimate goal? What are you trying to? 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, be an influencer, get paid for posts. Like or I'm just here for the gram. What's your end goal for it?
I think, I guess it's a little confession time. I think
truth, baby.
I think before I really wanted to be like famous and be a star and like,
but.
In a sense where
everybody wants to be that, right? Yeah. But though? I just a social media.
My man's. I just wanted the 10K following.
You just want the big following.
I just wanted the big following.
That's like a motivation.
Yeah.
Keep it.
To keep it real.
I need 100,000, bro.
But these people, and somebody asked me like, you know, you see the Virgils and you see Kanye and you see I forgot that guy's name, like from public school. Shout out to Dennis the Disco one time from Outfit Grid. Like you see these move makers and playmakers and really contributing to street culture, for example, or streetwear. And you're like, dang, like that's dope. Like I kind of want to be like them. Or
was that it? Like a fashion icon?
I think so. For me, my head, I didn't really know what I wanted to, like, it's the same question. People are always like, yo, Sam, so you look at all these people and you hear their stories and you want to be like Jeff Staple or like sort of like a fashion icon or somebody with a voice, but all of those people, they became who they are, or they are who they are now because
they carved a lane.
Well, they carved a lane, but they actually was known for something.
Right.
Like they did something, and that's why the following came.
Right. Well, and that's what I was trying to get to. I mean,
and exactly. So by you asking me before, when somebody asked me like, Sam, okay, cool, you want to work for Nike or you want to do influencer marketing and do all this, but like you're chasing the clout, you're trying to chase this following, but what do you want to be known for?
And that's exactly what I was really trying to get to, because with the youth now, it's that answer.
Right.
If you ask some kid who stopped by and was like, yo, bro, let me ask you a question. What's your goal on social media? First of all, they probably give you a blank stare, like, I don't know what my goal. Oh, I don't know, to get as many followers as possible.
Yeah.
And to get a follower, like, that's like, woo, the golden goose. Yeah. I have a follower. Now I have 1 follower. Now I have 10. 10's turned to 500. 500's turned to 1,000. 1,000's turned to 10.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, if that's the end goal, that's a really hard thing to achieve.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, all you're really trying to do is impress someone to go follow.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Because that's really not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because it's always like, yeah, but when I get 10,000 followers, then people will sponsor
then you get
me.
Sponsored.
And I'm like,
you got this money.
So what do you value more, the follower or the sponsor? Oh, the followers. But the followers don't pay you anything.
Right.
But again, they can, right? Transition wise. The second layer to that is, admittedly, you got to be like, I was chasing the followers, right?
Yeah.
And that was my end goal.
And
I was just here for the followers.
Yeah.
I'm keep it real. And that's really the question why I really want to, because that's what people want to hear, right?
Right.
They don't want to hear, oh, I'm doing it for this. I'm doing it because most people will go, well, there is a socially conscious audience out there that I want to reach, and I want to make sure that my posts are affecting them. And it's like, bro, no, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you want followers because you want to feel enlightened, like you're enlightening people. But the people you name, like your Pharrells, your Virgils, your Kanyes, your Jay-Z's, your whatever have you, your Mark Echoes, these people had different goals in mind for success.
Right.
And their success was, I want to make music. I want to create a fashion label. I want to, do finance, or, I want to create a business empire. These people's goals are real. They're tangible, right? Yeah. And then the followers came.
Yeah.
Right? It's like a lot when I grew up playing basketball, the first shot that you learn outside of, your form is the closest shot to the basket.
Yeah. Because
it's like, well, number one, you got to be able to hit the closest shot 99.9% of the time. It's the closest. It's the best odds, right? Then you start stepping away from the basket. And akin to today's NBA, not to throw some basketball talk in there, kids nowadays who are trying to get in the league are trying to Steph Curry themselves. It's like, all I need to do is be able to shoot threes and I'm good. Yeah. And it's like, well,
I just got to be like Splash and I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case. There's got to be work behind it, right? Like, you have to hit the closest shot first before you start splashing threes. Right. You know what I mean? So, outside of that question I just asked, then, so...
I do have an answer for that question.
What question?
What's the end goal?
Yeah, what's the end goal?
I think earlier this year, or at a midway point, I found myself trying to kind of portray like a certain lifestyle and thinking, not portray a certain lifestyle, but I want to curate my feed, taking it more like a portfolio of, this guy's into like streetwear, like sneakers, he does events, whatever, like kind of showing like the Splash brand of like, what does he bring to the table?
He's trying to get followers. Trying to get more followers. But okay, go ahead.
But that was before, and then later I just started archiving all my past posts, and mentally it just started to just cloud my my vision and just cloud kind of like who I am. Like, why am I posting this picture? Like, why do I need to start thinking about what caption to use? Like, what's a clever, like, it got so filtered and so fake, where I was just like, yo, this isn't me. I'm not being myself. And with that enlightenment, or with that realization, I started everything, and I'm like, you know what? Who I really am, I am a child of God, and I'm not branding for my brand child.
Shameless plug.
But aside from all of that, let's start from who I am. You know, I am a child of God. Like, this is what matters to me, and with me saying that statement, the end goal is to just showcase who I am, like what I'm into, like not for the people but for myself. Whether it's
Then why even use social media?
Why even use social media?
I mean, if you're not trying to appease anybody else but yourself and God, then why do you need social media
Well,
for?
so first off, it's for me to be genuine and authentic. We already got that down by me saying that I am a child and this is who I am. So that back to reality person is here. So we have that. It's authentic.
Right.
I want to use that also as a platform where there can be a guy who likes streetwear and who also has an ultimate purpose of living for God. I don't know how to exactly have that end goal come to life in terms of using it as a platform to share my voice and share my faith in what I do. But I do want to tell a story on social media. So
I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I don't really see the
I'm
connection
in the hot seat right now. Yeah.
between being a child of, and again, this is not an offense question, it's just an honest question. Because from what you're trying to tell me, I don't see the connection between being a child of God, you liking streetwear, because I really believe that there's probably a large group of people who do that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm a child of God and I like sandwiches. Like that, it's you know what I mean. Like you feel the correlation. It's too general to me, right? Also at the same time, it's like you're not spitting out scripture, because then you're just spitting out scripture, right? What's the connection between a child of God, social media, streetwear, and your interests? Like how does that bind together?
I just think there's. Well, first off, I think streetwear it's very materialistic.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to really get to. It's like when I hear child of God, I'm hearing God's efforts, what he bestowed upon me to do, to walk in his likeness, to be kind, giving, forgiving. You like streetwear, you like sneakers. The biggest thing that Jack shows me is those are major materialistic things, completely the opposite of God in terms of mentions. Not saying that people can't like streetwear and be religious. What I'm trying to say is that the connection to me, I don't see the puzzle pieces and how they fit, because to me, and again, I don't think this because I know you. Yeah. If I saw you, child of God, he says he's rocking the new Off-White Air Jordan 1s. Cool. Like, what's the correlation? Like, what's the message? Because I think what you're trying to convey is that how much this is me as a person, and a person like me of faith can like different things. Like, don't put us in a box that you wear loafers, slacks, and a button-down t-shirt. You like streetwear. That's how you express yourself, but while liking God. You know what I'm saying? So, what message is it that you're trying to convey to the audience that you have? Because you have such a wide audience of followers. What's the message to them?
Well, yeah, that got me thinking. Well,
and yes, I put you on the hot seat.
Yeah, we're gonna change the title to Splash.
I don't want to make it like an interview because you do bring up valid points. Like because that's really the weird juxtaposition of social media as a whole. It's like, oh, dude, I'm trying to convey this message to you that I like sneakers, man, and I'm politically aware.
Yeah.
So you're just you like politics and you wear sneakers. I got it. What's the correlation? Yeah. What's the message?
Yeah.
Are you trying to show me that through sneakers, listen to my political beliefs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because then you just come off preachy.
I think sneakers and streetwear that's just like my roots. That's who I am.
You are. Yeah. So, that's who you are. Just like you're religious and right.
So that's just.
Is it a message? Maybe it's not. This is just who I am. This is Slash.
Yeah. So streetwear and sneakers. I'm not here to go and promote all these brands and all that, and get all sponsorships. Not that I would
followers, y'all.
Not that I wouldn't mind it.
Follow at Splash.
You know, that's just streetwear and sneakers, clothes, fashion. That is who I am. That's just kind of what I like and I have a passion for. But that's not the ultimate end goal and purpose of my life.
Of course.
I'm not a designer, and you know, as a believer and as a child of God, you know, we were called to, you know, as I experience my love for God, as I experience God's love to me, I want to share that with other people, and that's my ultimate like calling or purpose, to share the word, to pay it forward to everybody else around me, who God is and what, and not to be all preachy, but yeah, that's what really matters to me. I just felt like there's a lot of people who are afraid to speak about their faith and share their faith.
This is true.
And so that's one thing. And another thing is, I felt that I just lost my thought. So people are afraid to share their faith, and dang, I was going somewhere with this. They're afraid to, but for me, it's not to, you know, say this is what streetwear and be like a streetwear ambassador. Oh, that brings my point. Yeah, I do feel like when people think of a Christian or a child of God, they need to look like A, B, C, or D, or dressed in A, you know, A, B, C, or D, and listen to A, B, C, and D,
sure,
and have haircuts like A, B, C, and it just happens to be that I feel like with this culture that I'm in and that I grew up with about storytelling and being exclusive and just being part of this like strong bonding, I kind of want to share that bonding with other people, that okay, you could like the Hundreds because it's skate culture and they have dope graphic tees and they have a cool story to it. Like, why can't that be something? If you're proud to be a skater, then why can't you be proud to be, you know, a child of God? And that's what I personally want to do with Child. It's just to share the message that not your every child or Christian or whatever believer looks like this A, B, and C, or D. And number two, there's something that you can actually wear and kind of support that this ultimate message that you actually believe in. So not only for, you know, believers or you know, people that have faith or people that don't have faith. Like, everybody is welcome, you know, like we are all children,
right?
And yeah, I think my goal to some, and this goes beyond social media, just continue to be genuine and authentic and kind of break that stigma of, again, like we shared, I shared with you before, like I'm a pastor's kid. I grew up in the church. Everybody looked at me funny because I listened to hip hop and I know how to Dougie and like I'm up to date with the culture. I feel like a lot of people look at me and point fingers and get very judgmental of, okay, that guy's probably like struggling with the Lord, or he's not really a believer, and like, and I felt like a lot of people kind of go through that too. Just, you know, you just wouldn't see a again, this is maybe more of the tiny bubble that I lived in, amongst the Korean churches, Korean American churches, and you're materialistic, you're this, you're that. So does that kind of like clarify? Like,
yeah, no, I
just kind of wanted to.
I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
I was just really.
Woo, man.
I was just genuinely curious to see what people's answers to that was, because it's not a question that a lot of people ask, right? So next time you see your homie, or you see somebody, or you're curious, or maybe you don't know about it, because obviously, being older, I mean, obviously I grew up with social media, but it wasn't something that I was attuned with all. I understood it, but I didn't really understand the other parts of it, like from a younger person's perspective, because we have different views, right? I was just curious to understand, like, what's the result, like, because for me, like, number one, what's the end result for social media? There is no end result. Like, I'm not out there posting photos to any specific like, I'm not an audience, right? I have 2 Instagrams. Like, one is just for sneakers. That's where I just post my sneakers, because there's a lane for that. Like, I felt like I don't want to have my personal one just be sneakers. Like, but
so you got a personal.
They're both personal. I mean,
and what's the other one?
It's just sneakers.
What's it called?
Soul Medicine.
Alright, I just want to plug you in real quick.
At Soul Medicine, check me. Got him. Shameless plug. But one's for sneakers because, I mean, and they obviously bleed together, whatever. But I use social media. There's no end goal for me on social media. Yeah. Like, if they took social media away from me tomorrow, there would be some, sadness and withdrawal periods.
You can't see the thirst traps, okay?
Yeah. But what I'll be like, okay, cool. But what do I use social media for? Honestly, I mean, it's really just a content filler for me. Number one, it's news in terms of in terms of my likes: basketball, clothing, sneakers, pretty women that I'll peruse from here and there. But at the end of the day, that's what's really become. I used to be a big magazine dude.
Okay.
In this room, there's probably magazine, Slam, XXL, The Source, Vibe, Sports Illustrated.
You don't got to name all your magazines.
You know what I'm saying? Magazines. Like, people don't even know what print is anymore. I used to consume all types of media. Even buying CDs, buying.
That makes sense.
So social media to me really replaced that. Another thing I use it for is staying in touch with friends and family. I feel like it's easier to throw a message on Facebook than it is to text somebody. Somebody might not hear back from for years. Oh, you hit them on Facebook, you get a response in 10 minutes. Sharing photographs of my friends and family. Like, I think that's huge. I think that's really what I like it for. I'm like, oh, you can share. I shared some 360 photos I took of my family at Disney World a couple years ago. Right. And that was great just to relive that and see that again. So in terms of goal, it's nothing. Like, I don't want to have 50 followers. Yeah. It's nice to have, I don't have a big following. I don't have 500, 600 followers on each page. I'm not reaching for the stars here. I'm not trying to be, 50,000 followers, be an influencer or ambassador. Would it be nice? Sure. I mean, were there points where that was what I want to attain to be? Yeah, again, and that's the trap of social media, right? Yeah. Like, okay, I want to be a sneaker ambassador. I need 50,000 followers. Let me buy some followers or something, right? I never did that because I was just like, what's the point? Half the followers on your Instagram are fake anyway. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean that literally and figuratively. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I use it more as a source. I think this question really, in the long run, is like, what do you see? What do you do with the internet? Like, what are your internet habits, right? Outside of social media, what do you do? Like, I'm on news. Like, I read a lot, obviously. You're reading news. You're reading sports news. Some sneaker news, hip hop news, world news. That's really what I consume on the internet, and obviously what I do for work as a living. Yeah. The internet. Without the internet, I wouldn't be working. So, I think that the end goal of our conversation here is the differences of how older generations who grew up with the internet, right? Yeah. Versus people of a younger generation who you didn't grow up with it. You already had it. Like, you already dived into it. You're already in the pool. Right. So we use it in different we obviously understand it as a whole from an information standpoint, but how we use it and how we utilize our time on the internet are even though we probably spend the same on the online, are probably just really different. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
so I think that's the end goal of this conversation. You know, we've kind of went on a couple of different paths, but I think that's what it is. It's really the habits, because if you took a look at someone who was 15, 10 years younger than you, right?
Yeah.
You think the conversation between you and him on social media or what they do on the internet would be the same?
No, I wouldn't.
Right? Be like, oh, I play games. Like, I'm on Fortnite all day. So that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, man. I think that's our cue to wrap this up. What do you think, guys? Vic?
Yeah. What you think, Vic? All right.
We don't have an audience, so I don't know why we're asking. Like, email us though.
No,
remember,
this is the audience right here.
Yeah. The YGOGpodcastshow @gmail.com. Don't forget. We've got a couple emails this week. Shout out to everybody who shot us an email. We're listening to podcasts. Our OG listeners who continue. This is episode 6. You believe that? Episode 6, bro.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
Wait, this is episode 6?
Season 001, episode 006, sir.
Oh, man.
We've been doing this pretty consistently.
That means we've been doing this for like 6 weeks straight.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As usual, please make sure you follow us at the YGOG Podcast Show on Instagram. We also have a Twitter, the same name, YGOG Podcast Show. It's sort of active, but hit us on there if you Twitter. We definitely want to look forward to not only bringing you more podcasts, more content, more topics, but you know, giving you stuff on social media as well. So you know where to find us. But again, questions, comments, concerns, please make sure you email us at the YGOGpodcastshow @gmail.com. Hit us on the Instagrams, on the Twitters.
Follow at Young Jedi Fresh.
Follow at Splash.
Um,
Got like 100,000 followers, this guy. These sponsors need to holler.
I'm doing for for my followers.
That's it.
Not for the follows.
The following or the followers?
Hey, if y'all tuning in, for those that follow me, yeah, I'm just trying to be myself. If I get out of my lane of who I am and who I'm not, you know, feel free to just you know help a brother out and slide into DMs. But yeah, I just want a core group of people that just runs with me as I run Child and do the podcast, and I just want strong supporters. And yeah.
Yo, listen, if you have any qualms with what we said on today's show, questions, anything to say, yo, we're desperate, man. Like, I literally sit by my computer and wait for the emails to come in. As soon as they ping, I'm like, oh my God. I will respond. So we appreciate the feedback. We'd love to keep the show going, hopefully into more episodes. So keep it locked on the YGOG Podcast Show. This is your boy Young Jedi Fresh, co-partner in crime.
It's your boy Splashy. We out here.
Stay tuned to the next episode, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.